The following is a presentation of BizVisor, where we have 33 years of business and financial analysis experience. These are our offices, located at 1087 Stone Ridge Drive in Bozeman, Montana. And today what we're going to do is talk with you about the importance of getting your macroeconomic forecast right along with your business forecast. So let's listen to this presentation a bit further.
Hi, this is Russ Squire of BizVisor, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the importance of having two types of forecasts for your business. One is the forecast for the business itself going forward, and we've talked about that in previous videos, and that's basically just getting profit and loss, income statements together, as well as getting a balance sheet, projected balance sheet together. But there's a second forecast, and it's probably even a more important one. It's not one that your banker asks for. It's really your macroeconomic forecast. Now, I have with me today two charts I wanted to share with you. One is a chart of the growth of the U.S. monetary base. And you can see that U.S. monetary supply has gone upward rapidly as our government has printed a lot of money over the last 5 years, 10 years. We were up to 2,000 billion, so that's over, what, 20 trillion. Now we're up to 29. This extends it. So the problem is we're awash in money to support low interest rates, which brings me to the next chart that I have. This is a chart of interest rates. And this is a chart of actually the federal funds rate going back to the early 1960s. You can see it peaking out here, basically peaking at roughly 17–18%, and then coming back down over here to historic lows. So we are now at the lowest point in our history for interest rates. So where do you think they're going to go from here? And what happens if they go up? Very, very important question to answer. When interest rates rise, it acts as a discounting mechanism against all types of financial assets. Real estate, stocks. It's one of the reasons we say don't own real estate, lease it. You don't want to tie up your precious capital, but if interest rates go up, the value of that real estate is going to correspondingly go down. Now, it's not that real estate will just go down. Obviously, there are localized economic factors. Some economies are growing, some economies are attracting retirees. But if you look at the recovery that we're currently in the U.S. economy, it's not being broadly participated in at all. I've traveled around the country. There are a few local economies in the San Francisco area, Silicon Valley, Seattle, booming, thanks to Amazon basically wiping out and obliterating the vast majority of retailers, small retailers, mom and pop retailers. Main Street retail, it's almost dead. But if you look at what's going on in our economy overall, this has not been a broad-based recovery. And we've seen a massive growth in money supply with super low interest rates. And that has a potential to create a devastating conclusion. That conclusion would be that interest rates would spike and spike fairly rapidly. There's really nothing else left the Federal Reserve can do. They've pumped unlimited and unprecedented amounts of money into the U.S. economy. So, now that I've absolutely depressed you, let me bring you back to why it's important to have both a global forecast, in other words, a macroeconomic forecast for the overall economy, along with a forecast for your business. The types of businesses you choose can ultimately become very important. We saw this in the 1920s. What performs in the 20s and 30s? What performs in a down economy? Food and alcohol. Oh gee, go figure. So, there are certain things that people do not give up. However, if you're going into an industry that is extremely volatile and very cyclical, in other words, say like the construction trades, 2008 to 2011, nobody could find work. Everybody was a home remodeler or ran over to the Williston oil basin because it was the only place that was booming. Now we come fast forward to 2015, and where are we at? Well, we've had a little bit of economic recovery, and certainly quite a bit of economic recovery here in our boomtown of Bozeman. and in other few boom towns around the country, but it has not been widely participated in. The upper Midwest is still basically in deep recession. A lot of New England that lost manufacturing jobs, still in deep recession. So, you know, this is not a broadly participated in recovery, if it is a recovery. So you have to think very carefully when you're buying a business. What type of business are you getting into? And what are going to be the cyclical impacts? Because everybody projects their future pro forma results on a straight line basis. That's not how the economy works. The economy goes like this and oscillates, you know, from recession to recovery to peak, back into a downtrend to a recession. So you have to think about that and what will happen to the goods or the services that the business you're considering buying might produce, and what will be the impact of rising interest rates. Because it's a very real possibility, given the historical part of looking backwards at interest rates. And as Harry Truman once said, you know, the only thing new under the sun is all the history you've never learned. So it really pays to study economic history at this particular juncture. For BizVisor, this is Russ Squire. Thanks for listening.